Let's begin the second half of the show by recognizing a paradox. Mm-hmm. I deeply resent rich people, but I desperately want to be one. Sure. I would love to be rich. I said this to a friend of mine, and he questioned me. He said, Owen, aren't you better for all the challenges and hardships you faced? The answer is no. I am beaten down and have deep emotional scars that will never heal. The psychological results of suffering and sacrifice are not pretty. If you're not careful, you find yourself in Revere, Mass, kissing a girl who may or may not have a heroin problem. I'm digressing. Susan, what is your opinion of rich people?
Hang on a sec. Heroin?
Susan, what is your opinion of rich people?
Rich people. I think the big thing for me is that if I had lots of money, I would behave better than the average rich person. Mm-hmm. They spend money in offensive ways.
You're down in New York City. In certain parts of Manhattan, there are millionaires everywhere. You get to see them up close, don't
Absolutely. I worked at this charity event, and people paid for the opportunity to play charades with a celebrity. Someone paid $10,000 for a game with Rosie Perez. Then another guy paid $25,000 for a game with Julia Roberts.
Oh my God.
But she's a great charades player, isn't she?
No, she's not.
Okay, you're watching these spending practices after you've been eating potatoes 5 times a week for the past month. How did that make you feel?
It made me realize that rich people buy their experiences while the rest of us have to earn them.
Profound. However, you must admit charitable contributions are a good thing. This was a charity event. I'm going to call you guys both out right now. There isn't a theater company out there that doesn't want a rich patron, a rich sponsor.
It's true.
Have either of you been involved in the process of recruiting a rich sponsor?
I did. There was a woman, she was in her 50s, and she used to come into the salon where I worked. And she was really into the arts and obviously rich because she got a blow dry once a week for $65.
Oh my God.
And I managed to introduce her to a friend of mine, and it was a company I was involved with, a theater company.
Okay.
He's a good-looking guy in his 30s, and they went out to dinner to discuss, possibilities of shows. And it was my understanding that, while she didn't explicitly ask for anything, she strongly suggested that she'd be needing a lot of personal and private attention in order to sponsor the theater company. And he wasn't ready to take that trip to Cougarville just yet.
I think that's a one-way ticket.
Good for him.
That's interesting because it raises the odd feeling you have when you mix money and personal relationships. I'll pose the question. Can you ask someone you're dating for money?
Well, I live with my boyfriend and we pool our money together. I mean, that's the only way we could survive.
Okay, that's kind of the old marriage model.
No, we both have our own bank accounts.
I see. What if you were just dating a guy? You guys weren't living together. You've been together, going out a couple months, and you fall on hard times. You need a loan. You need some money.
Yeah, I think you have to feel out the situation, but you should be able to turn to your friends for help.
Okay. Your boyfriend gives you $1,000. Do you have sex with him that night?
I'm not going to respond to this.
I think that's a gray area. You need a little bit of a grace period, I believe.
A week.
You don't want to do it right away. No.
I see. No, I get nervous when money and sex seem related.
Because it's called prostitution.
Well, you judge this. One time I gave a girl a gift that cost me a few bucks. When she received the gift, she went to work on me with professional skill.
What was the gift?
I gave her a year-long subscription to Entertainment Weekly magazine.
Wow.
The next morning, I took her to McDonald's, the drive-thru, and I got her an Egg McMuffin.
You're disgusting.
Truly.
I'm a kind gentleman. Right. At this point, I could acknowledge that all of us will struggle financially because we've chosen a career in the arts. But I don't want to be depressing. I don't. Let's pretend we're all rich.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
What would life be like? Stacy, you first. What is your fantasy of being rich?
I'd like enough money to buy my own house, start a family, and save for retirement.
Your dream is to be middle class. Stacy, you have to work on your fantasy life.
Oh, yeah, and I'd avoid the heroin addicts there.
Oh, we're moving right along. Susan, can you picture yourself being rich?
Oh, and I am a rich woman trapped in the body of a poor girl. I love the finer things in life, whether it's food, clothing, or books.
Books.
Yeah. I collect rare books, first editions of the classics.
Isn't that indulgent?
That's the point of being rich and famous. You can be a little indulgent.
I see. Now, from that statement, not only are you going to be rich, but you're also going to be famous as well. How are you going to become famous?
Well, at first I would break it big as an actress, but then soon I would become successful as a writer and producer. Eventually I'll make millions having my own TV show where I allow for dialogue and examination of the important issues of the day.
You're saying that you would be your generation's Oprah.
Yes, but I would make better book recommendations.
Impressive.
Owen, what's your fantasy life?
Actually, you can scold me because I don't want that much. I want enough freedom in my schedule so that I can exercise 5 times a week. I want enough time to have a fully functional relationship with a woman. And I don't want to see snow ever again.
This fully functional relationship, she
yes.
can't be a stripper, she can't have a criminal record, and she can't have a drug problem.
It's interesting you say that because when you're rich, you don't have to deal with that anymore. You can date fashion models instead.
Oh, please.
All right. Let's end our show with some optimism. I have studied how some of the great fortunes have been made in modern America. One trend has been consistent, and that's technological changes have been key in creating new wealth opportunities. In the last century, those who've understood and capitalized on the advent of new communication mediums, such as movies, TV, or even this telephone, have made millions. Here we are, not far removed from the beginning of the internet age, and we have a show being downloaded around the world. I will propose the possibility that we could achieve prosperity from this production. We could all become rich and famous from Infinite Loser. Well, I'll let you guys think about that.